For many years, scientists believed a simple story about our ancestors. They thought early humans started out small and slowly, steadily, became bigger over millions of years. In this picture, every new species in our family tree was just a little taller or heavier than the last. It all seemed to follow a straight line, from small ape-like creatures to big modern humans. This idea made sense for a long time. After all, when we look at fossils from long ago, the oldest ones, like Australopithecus, were smaller than us. As we move forward in time, we see bigger bones, larger skulls, and taller skeletons. The old belief was that every step forward in evolution meant a step up in size. This simple story was easy to remember and easy to teach. It made people think that getting bigger was always better, and that evolution was always moving in one direction. For decades, museums and textbooks showed this clear path of growth. But now, new research is changing this story. Scientists are asking, did our ancestors really just get bigger? Or is the truth more complicated? The answer is surprising and much more interesting. Recently, scientists started looking at old fossils in new ways. They gathered more bones from different parts of the world and used better technology to measure and compare them. What they found was surprising. The story of human size was not as simple as everyone once thought. Instead of a smooth, steady increase in body size, the data showed something else. For millions of years, some early humans stayed about the same size. There were even times when body size shrank, or when small and large species lived at the same time. The straight line of growth turned out to be messy, with ups and downs. Scientists also realized that many fossils had been missing or mismeasured in the past. With new finds and better tools, they could see the real picture. The old idea of small to big was too simple for such a complex story. These new discoveries forced experts to rethink what they knew about our family tree. Human evolution, it turns out, is full of twists and surprises, not just a single climb toward bigness. One of the most exciting discoveries in recent years is about a huge change that happened around 2 million years ago. Before this time, most of our ancestors were small, but then something dramatic happened. The first humans of the genus Homo appeared, and they were much bigger than those who came before. Homo erectus, for example, stood tall and strong. These early humans were built for walking and running long distances. Their bodies were more like modern people than the short and stocky Australopithecines. This jump in size did not happen slowly, but quite suddenly in evolutionary terms. Scientists think this leap was linked to new ways of living. Bigger bodies could travel farther, hunt larger animals, and survive in new places. It was around this time that tools became more advanced and brains began to grow too. This big change was not just about size, it marked a turning point in how our ancestors lived and survived. But as we will see, not everyone followed this path. Even after the big jump, not all human ancestors got bigger. Some stayed small, even when they lived much later in time. These small hominins are a big surprise for scientists and show that evolution does not always go in one direction. For example, Homo floresiensis, often called the Hobbit, was tiny, just over 1 meter tall. These people lived on the island of Flores in Indonesia, long after bigger humans had appeared elsewhere. Another example is Homo naledi, found in South Africa. They lived only a few 100,000 years ago, but were small and had some ancient features. These discoveries show that different sizes could exist at the same time. Some groups got bigger, others stayed small, and all found their own ways to survive. The world was not just home to one type of human, but to many, each adapting to their own environment. This challenges the idea that everyone was always getting bigger. Sometimes being small was a better way to live. Body size is not just about height or weight, it changes how an animal lives. For our ancestors, getting bigger brought many new opportunities. Larger bodies could walk farther, chase prey, and carry more food. They could also travel across open grasslands, escaping from predators and finding new places to live. Bigger bodies also meant bigger brains. With more energy from a larger body, the brain could grow too. This brain growth led to smarter behaviors like making better tools, using fire and planning hunts. These changes helped early humans survive in tough environments. But being big also brings challenges. Large bodies need more food and water. They must deal with heat in hot places and keep warm in the cold. Not every group could face these problems, so some stayed small to survive in special environments, like islands or caves. Size then was not just about looks. It shaped how our ancestors lived, survived, and even how they thought. The old story of human evolution was simple, small to big, step by step. This made it easy to understand, but honestly, it left out many important details. It suggested that getting bigger was always the goal, and that every species followed the same path. But the new research shows a much richer picture. Human ancestors did not evolve in a straight line. There were jumps, stops, and even reversals. Some groups got much bigger while others stayed small or even shrank. Different environments and lifestyles led to many solutions, not just one. This new view really changes how we think about evolution. It is not a ladder, but more like a branching tree. Each branch tries its own way, some growing big, others staying small. Survival depends on many things, not just size. The story of our evolution is not just about getting bigger. It is about change, variety, and the struggle to survive in a changing world. Let us look more closely at the two most famous small ancestors, Homo floresiensis and Homo naledi. These species show that there is no single rule about human size. Homo floresiensis lived on Flores Island until just 50,000 years ago. They were as short as a 3-year-old child but used tools and hunted animals. Some scientists think they shrank because island life made it hard to find enough food. Smaller bodies need less energy, which helped them survive. Homo naledi was discovered in deep caves in South Africa. Their bones are only about 300,000 years old, much younger than expected for such a small and primitive species. They had small brains but may have used fire and buried their dead, behaviors we once thought only big-brained humans could do. These exceptions remind us that evolution is unpredictable. Small bodies did not stop these species from being clever or surviving for a long time. When we put all these discoveries together, we see that human evolution is like a puzzle with many pieces. Size is just one part. Other pieces include brains, tools, language, and the ways our ancestors moved and lived in their world. Some pieces fit together easily, like bigger bodies and bigger brains, but others show big surprises, like small hominins with clever skills. As scientists find new fossils, the puzzle becomes more complex. Each new discovery can change the whole picture. Studying body size helps us understand how our ancestors adapted to their world, but it also shows us that there is no single path to being human. Many different ways led to survival, and each story is unique. The more we learn, the more we realize that our family tree is full of branches, dead ends, and unexpected turns. In the end, the story of human evolution is not just about getting bigger. It is about change, adaptation, and surprise. The old belief that our ancestors grew steadily larger was too simple for the real story. New research shows that there were sudden jumps in size, times when some groups stayed small, and many ways to survive. Body size shaped how our ancestors lived, but it was not the only thing that mattered. Clever minds, new tools, and working together were just as important. Our family tree is not a straight line, but a rich and branching story. Each discovery adds more depth and wonder. The truth is, human evolution is far more complex and more fascinating than we ever imagined. As we keep searching and learning, the mystery of our past becomes even more exciting. The story of how we became human is still being written, and it is full of surprises.